Yeah, here we are. It's about the 20th or 21st, Friday, all of a sudden. 20th or 21st of January 2023. And it's starting to, show a little bit of snow out here. First time we've got real snow coming down. I don't know if it'll last or not, but anyway. So here I am. What happened this week? We were on to the Volkswagen van as usual. Hang on, I'll swing you around. I stopped it recording instead of swinging it around. Okay, there you go. So this week here was mostly brakes. And so I finished up the knuckles, the steering knuckles last week. The bearings and things arrived this week for the front wheel. So I've got the brakes together, I've got the front wheel together, new bearings. I did go ahead and get new pads. The one side number, this side, which is passenger side, the pads on the passenger side were like that, and they look brand new, and I measured them, and in fact they were brand new, because they were the same measurement as these ones. But the pads on the far side, on the driver's side, were worn down, so there must have been something dragging there when they put the new ones in. Who knows? So I figured I'd just replace them. So new pads. Then these things here, I had to order them because they were all rusted off. The spring holders for the pads. And now I found out that they've got two bleeders on them. This one here is for draining. That one there is for bleeding. So you don't bleed on that one. You only bleed on that one. Don't you know? And then on this side here, I wonder where the bleeders are. On this side here, the bleeder on the top was broken off for whatever reason. So you don't get it in any choice. You have to bleed it at the bottom. So maybe I'll figure something out about that. Don't know for sure how I'll figure that out, but it'll get figured out. Maybe I'll have to turn the thing upside down to bleed it, right? No. So I got that done. Got the brake lines, new brake lines run all the way through in the front. I put the new master cylinder up there, tied in. I haven't got the plastic cup on it yet, but I will get that done sometime soon. I don't want to put it on right away because I'd liable to break it. And then I did run new brake lines to the back, which are way back here somewhere. I'll show you. Hang on. Yeah, so new brake lines coming into the back. That piece there, the junction piece, I just took that out. It's brass. Took it out and cleaned it, and it came out really nice. But new brakes come to the back, and they go right into there, where they hit there's a rubber hose comes out of there. And so that's all done. I need to next week maybe I'll put the axles in it and get the brakes run out to here. That'd be done deal for. Then I'd be able to put wheels on it sometime. Well, and be able to put a motor in it sometime. Interesting. So anyway, that's it for this week. Stick around and enjoy it. See you all next week. Bye for now. Yeah, where am I? 1, 2, 3, yeah. There we are. So, yeah, new week. This week it's January sometime. Could be the 12th, 13th, 14th, somewhere around there. It's a Saturday, right? So back onto the Volkswagen van, and this week I'm gonna start working on getting these brakes apart, cleaned up. Now the first thing, there's a bleeder goes in there, and another bleeder goes down in here. Now I took them out and I put them somewhere special. I think they're right here inside this bucket here. I hope so. Yeah, I don't see them there. I put them somewhere special, so I'll find them. Isn't that something? I hate it when I do that. I'll find them and then but first I want to put some air to here
and see if I can blast the air through. And if that works, I might have to put some penetrating fluid into all these holes here to see if I can get the cylinders to come free. Anyway, I'll see what I can come up with. Yeah, there now. I've got these. There's two of them. One there, and one there. I found them in my, well, of all the places in the world to find them, in the brake parts thing. One here and one down below here, right? Now I've put the air pressure to it, and air runs through freely. And this side here came free right away. This side here is still not free. I'll see what happens if I put some pressure to it now. Make it move a bit, maybe. You never know. Oh yeah, there it moved. Yay. So that'll come out. They both will come out now. Now it's a matter of getting them out without one at a time, without popping one out before the other, because if you pop out one before the other won't come. The other is difficult to get out. But they're both moving, so that's good. Yeah, that thing there, that's one half of the, where am I pointing here? Don't know. How come it's way up there? Hey? Wait a minute. Yeah, give me a second here. Get this camera right. There. Like, that's where I wanted to point. Anyway, that's cleans up pretty good. Here's that one there. I've cleaned it up with a wire brush. This one here I haven't touched yet, so I'll give it a clean off and see how it comes out. Yeah, now I've run the hone in here and cleaned it up, and it's looking pretty nice. There's the brake cylinder hone thing right here, or right there, hooked up onto the drill. I'll see if I can get it in here, and I'll show you what I do with it. Hang on. Yeah, there, it just goes inside the cylinder like that. You pull it back and forth a little bit. And all I'm trying to do here is sort of just clean any varnish and stuff off of there, because the seal is actually the rubber seal. And then the books, anything in the book says, don't be dicking with these things. Just leave them be. Clean them off, with a little bit of, well, it's not peanut stuff, but it's grease remover. So I'll clean them off with a bit of grease remover, but don't scuff them or do anything at all, because they have to stay the factory finish on that. Yeah, now I'll see about cleaning off this thing here, the hub and rotor, all one piece. I'll just use a big wire brush for that and see what happens. I did clean up the bolts. Somebody had put some anti-seize stuff on them. That was very good. And then all the brake parts I put in a bag right there. They're safe until I get the rebuild kit, which is coming Tuesday, I think, by FedEx. There, now that brake hub cleaned up pretty nice. Both sides. I'm happy with that. Now you can't hear me very well because I have my, where am I here? I'll show you. The creature from the Black Lagoon is here, trying to keep stuff out of my eyes and my lungs, because the place is full of dust here now. Anyhow, carry on. That one there is done. That one there. And I'll get started on the other side, I guess. Yeah, now this used to be a brake line coming in here, and it was seized in there pretty solid. So I put a bunch of heat to it and a bunch of the, whatever you call this stuff here, PV blaster. I'll put a bit more on there. Put a bit more on there too. Anyway, the PB blaster and the heat got it out. This one here, I'm pretty sure that's in there forever, and there's still one bleeder over here, so we're all right that way, as long as I can get this one out. So this will come out now. I put a pair of vice grips on it and was able to get it to start turning. There, yeah. but they somebody had tried before and had completely rounded out the nut here, whatever you call this thing. But I think now I've got it. I have a new one I'll be able to put in there. I think it used to be an 11, but not anymore. It's maybe a 10.5, eh? It was all rounded off on one side, and then like my socket would just about go on there, but then it wouldn't. So anyway, there it comes out now. There, success. I was worried about that. And that's a bubble fitting on the end of it. So anyway, there, that can go right in there somewhere. And I'll carry on. I'll see if I can get this bleeder out. If this bleeder out comes out, I won't worry about this side here. I think it's in there tight. And that, just use the one side, one bleeder. Yeah, there, that's, they're both out far enough now. It took a bit of back and forth and back and forth. This side here was really stuck. This side here was moving. But now it's out. Now the brake pads on this side aren't as good as the ones on the other side. They must have been dragging or something. That one there is about 40%. I think that's the wear line right there. So this one here is about, quite a bit, but they'll go for a while. I'll clean them up and they'll go for a while, and then I'll likely, but I need new things here too. So I'll see what I can get for this, all this stuff here. A brake kit for pads and clippy things. There'll be some somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah, there we go. That's all apart. That's both sides there, and I've marked that one with an O on it. It gets the O-ring side, which is here. Yeah, this is the O-ring side. This one goes on that side. I don't think it matters, but what the hell, eh? The pistons are good. You just need some cleaning. This side here is slightly different. These were 15s on the other side, and there are 14s on this side. And on the other side, they were very fine thread, and these are just normal, like, thread. So that piston there, or that caliper there, is either newer or older. I don't know. I bet you this one here is newer because it's still got paint on it. So this one here was replaced at one time, but they still were able to break one of the unless who knows. They were able to break one of the bleeders, but you only need the one bleeder, so that's good. The other one I'll just leave it in there tight. Now I'll see how I can do about getting new pads and stuff. I'll order them tonight and then get them on the way. Didn't know if I needed them or not, so I didn't order them, but famous last words. If you got to think about it, just go ahead and do it. So there, that's it for today. Got the brakes apart, and that side there cleaned up. That side, which is, the brakes are all, I got a baggie full of brakes there, and it's all cleaned up and looks nice. This side here, I'll clean it up tomorrow, and then see what we can do after that. Okay, bye-bye. See you later. Yeah, okay, here I am. It's back with the Volkswagen. What is it? Sunday, January something. Anyway, but where am I at today? So, on to the brakes still. I'll show you here. I've got, yesterday I had them, this is the driver's side, and I've got it apart, everything out of it. It turns out these two seals were in reasonably good shape on this side, but the seals on the other one were reasonably bad shape, so I'll figure out something for that somewhere along the way. Going to clean them off. Now I was able to get I ordered new brake pads for both sides, ordered a rebuild kit for this thing here, and these bits here, whatever this is called. This is I think it's called a brake hardware kit. And so I ordered that up to, because this one here is pretty well done. There's not much spring left on that, and these guys here are pretty near finished up. They're just about rusted out. The bolts here are good, and so I'll get the rubbers out of here and clean up the, take the wire wheel to it and clean it up, and then I'll clean up the hub. Okay, that's all. Then those parts should arrive sometime this week. Yeah, so there, that's cleaned out, and I honed out the inside of it here. So it all looks pretty nice and clean and ready to go. So I have to figure out, now the rubber seal might be okay for the reuse in this one, but the other one I need to get a seal for it. Now I'll get the other half out and clean that. Now this side here, the bleeder here is fine. That bleeder there is jammed right in there, so I should just grind that off so it's flat and then never think about it again in the future, because it's in there solid, and this side here is good for bleeding. Yeah, so there they are with the $5 overhaul, right? They'll look good when they're all put back together. Anyhow, now I'll go after the hub. I've got this hub here cleaned up nicely. I'll go after the hub on the other side. I'll let those dry off a bit before I start creating a bunch of dust in here. Yeah, there. So I've run all of the studs through the wire wheel over there just to clean them off, make them look decent. Then I'll just put them in this bag with the other stuff. That's the baggie for the driver's side. That's the baggie for the passenger side. There's a P on that one. I don't get them mixed up later, which, you know, I never ever do that. And those ones here, this is driver's side there. Those two, that's passenger side there. Then they're different. Doesn't really matter what side they go on, because they're different anyhow. That one's a newer, or that one's a newer. I think this is the original. I think this is a replacement for whatever reason. Yeah, so I guess the next thing is on my list is brake lines. They're mostly rotten underneath. The ones that go up to the master cylinder are okay, but I did order a new master cylinder, so I'm going to go ahead and take that master cylinder off of there and see if I can get the brake lines unhooked from that. And then we'll go from there. That'll be a good start point. Yeah, there, it's out. Pretty easy. 2 bolts here. I've got some paper stuffed in there, and like there's a bolt on this side, 1/2 inch or 13 millimeters. Same over here, 13 millimeters. 2 lines leading out to it. One goes to the front brakes, one goes to the back brakes. I don't know which is which. This one here I think goes to the front brakes because I think it's fairly free down there. And then there's 2 wires on it, and they're all in parallel, it looks like. So I did mark them front and back, but I don't think it really matters. This one here needs some work with getting it cleaned up. It's got some corrosion in there. Likely lots of these wires have corrosion in them, and I bet you if I pulled them apart, soaked them in CLR, it's going to fix them up. But that's down the road. First off, I'll get the brakes finished up. Then maybe I'll go after wiring for a while. We'll see. So here's the master cylinder over here. Where am I? Here I am over here. Right here. Now it's likely is all right. It's got these 2 switches here. They're both corroded a bit. You can see a little bit of fluid left in it. That's coming out right there. Where am I pointing, right? It's likely okay, but this needs a rebuild kit, and these 2 seals here are definitely bad. So, and you know, it's ugly. So I saw it on, when I was ordering brake parts, this thing here was $120 USA. So I figured, well, might as well have a new one of them. And brakes are kind of a critical item, right? Now up here, oh dear, where am I? I'm underneath the car, right? Underneath. And then up here, this is where the brakes come through. And these lines are all right. There's nothing wrong with those lines. There's no corrosion on them, no mess on them. There's a joint in the line right there that goes to the front, but that line is all good right to the junction. Same thing over here.
the back line goes to this junction box here. Now I don't know what that is, but I wonder if I should take it apart or not. I'm a little bit leery about taking it apart. If it works, it's all right. It's some sort of a junction box that sends fluid to the back anyhow. But I don't really, I got into one of those things with the TR7, and all you can do is sort of look at it, and there is no parts available for it, whether this one has parts available. But I'm not going to do anything with that. The line in is fine. And this line out here, the line out goes to the back, and I'm pretty sure that it gets to be, like once it gets into the open out there, all the stuff up underneath the front here is pretty sheltered from weather and everything like that. But once it gets into the open underneath there, it seems to be getting rotten lines. So I think what I'll do is I'll put a new line in from up here all the way to the back and put new lines from that junction over here to the front wheels, which was sort of what I thought would have to happen anyhow. And a new master cylinder, because these lines here, they're fine. Okay, that's what I'll start doing. Yeah, here I am back again at the Volkswagen van. Now I'm working on brakes today, and specifically, I'm working on brake lines, if I can figure it out. So this is all the stuff that I've taken out of the van, and I had it sitting in rust remover overnight. These are the pieces that, like, I just sort of salvaged them to see if some of them are any good, and I've got a whole bucket full of brake pieces, assortment of brake pieces here that should be able to put it all back together with. But all the king's horses and all the king's men, you know. So this kind here, see that kind there is a bubble fit. That one's a bubble fit. This one here is a double flare fit. And what are these ones? Those are a double flare fit there. Anyway, those, we'll figure it out and get it all back together soon-ish. Now, in the looking for this was over in the other shop on the bench over there, of course. And I looked and looked everywhere, and it created so I cleaned up underneath the chair and resorted all my little buckets full of bolts there. I'm gonna have to get another shelf in here of some sort, but you know, by the time I get so many shelves in here, I won't have any room for me. But I seem to always be accumulating stuff, and the shop doesn't get any bigger. I don't know what to do about that. Maybe the shelves, these two shelves here could be out to here, like they, you know, come out farther, and then that would make more room for stuff to hide in behind, right? Oh well, we'll figure it out as time goes by. I won't get done today. But for now, I'm gonna take that, where am I looking at, over there? Can you see that? Yeah, that's a wire wheel thing there. Grinder with a wire wheel on one side. And I'll take that and run all these things past it and just see how they look at the end of it. Okay, time to get at it. Yeah, so these brass fittings come out pretty nice from that, right? But I think out of all those, the only usable piece of stuff is right here. Now I don't know if I'll use this again or not, but I know where it goes. It's the piece that joins at the back of the main hose that comes back. Anyhow, we'll see what goes on. These other ones here, I just kept them for, you know, because. Yeah, so here now, I'm underneath here. So I've got this first line right here, the bubble flare on there, right? And then it goes up and over and then back to there. And you sort of just go and bend it as it comes in. But I did feed a straight line from here, which is, wait till I get down here, you can see this stuff. So about the middle of the van, it comes through this thing here, and then it goes straight to here, and then it bends across. And you have to watch out for all the different little gizmos that have to go around it. Anyhow, but there I've got it sort of, where am I pointing, eh? Like right over there. Right there. And along here straight, and then it goes across. So you see that going across and then up there. So this part here, pretty close to right. And this part here is going to be away from, this is the shifting gear, shifting linkage. So you got to make sure that it's away from that. And that it gets, like I'll put a tie wrap up here or something. And I'll put a tie wrap up front there. Anyhow, but then it'll work. What the hell? Okay, so here I go. Yeah, now I've got to get that figured out, how to get the rest of that piped along there. But in the meantime, don't you know, the FedEx guy, or the FedEx girl, showed up. And here's the gas tank plus some other parts. I haven't opened it up yet. I'll open it up tomorrow and see what it is. Today, I got a little bit interrupted because I had to go and take the dog to the vet clinic, which was okay. Met a very nice veterinarian, Dr. Alan Painter, out there. A PEI boy, worked in Newfoundland for years and years, came home to retire and practice some more veterinary medicine. And the dog even liked him, so there. Now, I've run the brake line. You can see it. Can you see it up there? Let me see if I can hang this somewhere, right? Where it's not hanging in your way, right? So here, right here, where am I pointing? Right way? Yeah, right here. Brake line comes through there, right? And it goes along this beam right here, all the way. Then it has to go underneath the beam and up again and underneath the beam, like a hoopity hoop, hoopity hoop. Then at the end here, there's my light now. At the end I've got the fitting on it there, and I put a little piece of tape on there so it doesn't fall off, right? And now I've got to bend the whole thing down, like I'll just bend it down from somewhere up there and make it so I can fit it into this machine so I can get the end piece, like the double hoop on it, whatever they call it, the bubble hoop. So I've got the machine here in the vise, and now I'll just bring the pipe and the machine together somehow. Then the other ones I can make them up and put them in. This one here, you have to sort of make it up as you go along. I didn't know how long for sure it had to be, but it has to sort of meet right there. That's about the end of it right there. So I could likely take another inch off of that, but I think I won't. I think I'll just have it like that. Anyway, I don't know what I was looking at there, but I'll get to it here and I'll show you how I'd make out. Yeah, they're finally recording. So here, what I did, I lowered the car. I pulled this down, lowered the car so I can get my machine on there, and I've made the initial contact there, or done it. Anyhow, now I'll put it. What I do now is I put it inside a. I'll show you in a minute or two. Yeah, so I just got it, the fitting here in the vise, and then I tighten this into it. We hope. I don't think that's in right. Jeez. Hang on. Yeah, it was in right. So then I just tighten this fitting into it so it's tight. And I'm not watching very good here, hey? And something gave there. I don't know what gave. Something didn't like it. What the hell went on there now? Is this fitting not liking to be in there? Have I got the wrong size fitting? Oh dear. Let's see. I thought it would fit in all right, but yeah, something's stripped, hey? Something's stripped somewhere. Oh boy, better check on that. Yeah, so I'm not happy with that one. I'm gonna redo it. Didn't work out quite right, and maybe I have the wrong fitting on here too. I'll check that out. Hang on. Yeah, so I always leave enough slack in the line that I can have enough room to do it again if I need to, because often I need to. I didn't have enough light down here when I was doing it the first time, and that I often do that to myself too. Then you work in the blind and have to redo everything like this. That bubble fit just didn't bubble. It just made a lumpo fit. And I think this is the wrong size. I think that's a SAE as opposed to a metric one. And this one here is one that it came out of it, so it should be the right one. So it goes on here like that. And I have to put a bit of tape on that just so it doesn't fall off in the middle of it. Because in the past it's happened that this has fallen off and I've had to cut it and redo it again. Yeah, so this thing for making brake lines, right? It's got all these different things on it. There's a flat one here. This is called Operation 0. So you put your line in and then you just press that in until it flattens it up against the block here. Then you tighten down this thing real tight. Then put it over to what they call Operation 1 for 4.75 right there. And then the mold in here and the mold here, it makes this bubble fit thing. If you're making a double flare, then there's Operation 1 and Operation 2. And you do Operation 2 to make the double flare on it. Anyhow, but we'll get one of those later, I think. Yeah, there I've got a lot of brightness happening there. So I put it on here. Now I can just slide it up into place. It goes right here. Well, where am I pointing? Pointing all over the place. It goes right here. So I'll get that slid into place and put a screw in through there to hold it. And then I'll make the lines going out to the sides here. Yeah, there, now that's up into place with a new screw holding it in there. And it goes along, like you can see where it goes along underneath. And I'll get it tied up to the side rail there soon so that it doesn't get in the way of anything. And I'll put some padding behind where it goes through up there. But I think that'll be fine. I don't think there's going to be a problem there. Then up at the front here, it goes along, not done yet, but where am I going? That'll go up like that and hold on here where my finger is, and then hold on up to the roof there. I'll put a clampy thing up there. And then it's in there. I don't know if you can see in there. Can you see where it goes into the, it's already bolted in there. So from end to end, it's bolted. Yay. So it should be good. So that's a new line from the front to the back. And the line from the master cylinder to that junction is good. So that's now, I just have to build a line that goes from, no light underneath here, right? Can you see this? Where am I pointing? Right up here. Line that'll go from there over to that hole right there. And then another line that goes from that same spot over to a hole in behind there. Now this line here, I don't remember whether it goes underneath or over. I think it goes over this. Have to think about that. Whether it goes over or under. Looks like it goes under because there's a clampy thing right here. So it goes underneath and comes out there. That's okay, I can do that. And I'll put a new clampy thing there. And then that's where the heater goes. Heater stuff goes through there for the gas heater, which is pending in my pending pile. So I have to get this thing off of here. That's the emergency brake actuator. See if I can get that to come apart somehow. I don't know what I'll do about that yet. And I think that I don't know if I ordered emergency brake cables or not. We'll find out here one of these days. So anyway, they coming along all right. I'll get the lines built out to the wheels here. So it's got a line that goes to that little hole there that I talked about, then it jumps over to here, and then it's a steel line, I think, to the wheel. I don't remember. I'll have to look in the book and see what the book says. Anyway, but first things first, I'll find the little lines that go in here. Okay, now here's the next piece of pipe that goes to the passenger side, right in here. Not much light in here, but from here down to that hole right there. And then it meets a rubber pipe there. So I'll find the rubber pipe and I'll put that in. Yeah, so there's the rubber line, and it hooks on like that. This goes up to that T intersection thing. So now what I'll do, now the other guys, the last guys, some of the stuff that they did was pretty smart. Because where this joins into on the car there, that little hole, they had the original stuff was these spring-loaded things that go in there, but these guys here, they had just put some little clamps like that around that right there, and that held it very good, very well. So why would I fight with success, right? So happens that that little clamp there, 11 to 13 millimeter clamp, fits right on there. Now, as long as there's room for the screw and everything, I'll be happy with that. Yeah, there, that's it for today, I think. Time to quitting time on this planet. But there, that piece, like looks pretty good there now. All that nice new brake lines. It goes right in through there. And I put that clamp there, and that just holds that exceptionally tight. What a fine idea that is. So I will use that in the future too. Now, next is this one here across and down to there. And then that gets me close to the back wheels, and I'll figure out the back wheels when I put the back wheels on. I'll put a bit of tape over the end of that hose over there, and I'll put a bit of tape over the end of this hose when I get there. Then next I'll get the front end hooked up to, it comes across right here. Okay? There's the old line. Comes across right there, and might get the same treatment for holding that thing together. Anyhow, that's it for the day, and I'll see you tomorrow, I hope. Yeah, so here I am back at it again on the brakes, still on doing brake lines. I'll show you what's going on. So I've got my brake line machine out here, and I've been practicing a couple just to try and get a bit better at these bubble flares. Now I think that's a pretty good job on that one. I don't know if is that focused in? I hope so. That's a pretty good job on that one. So that's not such a good job, but I was playing around with it that's sort of a double bubble, right? So anyway, I'll keep on going, and I'll save that piece of pipe for a short chunk. Keep on going and see if I can get the line that goes, where are you at? The line that goes across the back there, I'll get that in place here next. Yeah, now, there, that's 1, 2, 3 junctions there. This one goes over to the passenger side right in there. And then this one comes across, and that hooky thing is still there, and into the driver's side over here. Then the rubber hose goes up to this trailing arm. Then it's metal hose to the wheel, which is cool. So now I've got to, I'll do the same trick on the trailing arm for holding that in there to the, where you can't see it yet, but right there I've got to have a little holder in there somehow to hold that all together, and that's something that that hose clamp business seems to work all right for. I'm happy with that. Now, the next on my list is I have to get this thing sort of secured along here, which I will do soon. But first, I want to see if I can make the hoses for the front. Like this has to be, got too many things in my hands. Too many stuff going on here. There. Along here, it'll go up high like that. And there used to be a clippy thing here, so I'll get that knocked off there and put a new clippy. Did you see that? There used to be a clippy thing here. I'll get that knocked off there, put a new clippy thing in, and get some sort of a clippy thing up here for to make that one there work. Don't know for sure yet what. Likely I'll make a couple of hoop things with metal that I do that. I'll show you when I get it done. Anyway, next is see about the front brakes, which would be kind of interesting. They go that line here is all right, except it's got a junction in it. Don't know why that junction would be there, but don't know if that's a new line or, whoa, who knows? Who knows anything around here? But I'm fairly happy that that line's good. And I'm going to just let it be because I'm fairly happy that this other line, this line here is good too. And they'll be fine. Just the wheel lines to the wheels were worn or rusted or no good. Anyway, next, make a line to go to the first wheel first, or the driver's side wheel first. Yeah, so there's this one here. It'll just go from there to there. And I've got that same thing. I've got one of those hose clamps on there holding that from coming through. That's good. Now the next one, now I've got it on over here too. I don't know, can you see in there? Yeah, there. Where am I looking at? That thing right there, junction, it's got two. This one comes from the master cylinder. That one goes to the passenger side. This one here will go to the driver's side as soon as I get a piece of hose figured out for that. Yeah, there now, that's in there and tight. Well, fairly tight. That won't go anywhere because it's got that clamp on the top of it, right? And then on the other side, I'll show you. Same idea over here. It's got the clamp on the top of it, holding it there, and it'll go into here eventually, but not. I'm going to put some tape over the ends. Then underneath here, pound my head a couple of times on the way in, right? There's the junction right up there. Can you see that? Yeah, I think so. That junction. So the top one goes to the passenger side. This one here on the left-hand side goes to the driver's side, and that's from the main thing, the master cylinder. So that's all set. Now what else is going on? So I have to get these lines secured somehow with some tie wraps or whatever I have to do to make them secure. Yeah, there now. I've got them all up and I've taped off the ends of everything. And they're all tied in so that they won't rattle around. Yay. So that's good. Brake lines are all in except for the back wheel, the section that goes to the hub, which I won't put in until I put the hub on because I don't know how long it's got to be. Yeah, so while I was at buying parts, this thing here, that's the front mount for the motor and transmission. Transmission hooks onto that, and it's supposed to be a rubber bushing in the middle of it there. Nice piece of round metal. So I have a new one. I've got a new one. here it is here. So it's got proper bushing and everything there. Can you see that? Is that looking at the right place? Yeah. And 4 bolts hold it. So I took the bolts out and I cleaned them up on the wire wheel, and then I painted underneath it. And now I'll just tighten up the bolts and that'll be that. Now, it had some sort of fiber hose, like the fuel line was fiber. So I'm going to put a steel line in here, right? I need a couple of clamps, one there and one about there somewhere. And I've made them over here. They're pretty simple. You just take that, a piece of steel like that, and wrap it around my pipe machine here. Put this in the vise and just wrap it around the end of that, and that's about the right size. Then drill a hole in it and clean it up a bit, and away you go. Stick it on. So I'll stick that on, those on with a self-tapping screw. And I'll show you what's happened. Yeah, there it is. So here, this is I think this is, that one there is some sort of, that one there is a vacuum or a vapor hose, goes up to the front. Now I've got about a 1/2 inch underneath here, so I can get a hose on here, and that's where the fuel pump sits. Either the fuel pump or the fuel. Yeah, the fuel pump sits here and the fuel filter sits in here between, and then the tank is over there. So I might have to cut this a little bit to make it fit better, but anyway, that's, for now, that's in there. And then for this end here, need a light. Come here, light. This end of the pipe here, it's got to go up there somewhere. I'm not really sure how it's supposed to bend, but I'll have to sort of bend it up and across there. I'm not really, don't know for sure where it's supposed to go. But what I'll do is I'll just bend it up and across, and it should go into the motor about here somewhere. So we'll just put some bends in it and then see what happens. There, now, where am I? So I'm cleaning up in here. I'm going to put that, I've got some insulating stuff to put on here. And once that's in, then I can sort of figure out how to plumb the heater system into it. Because I want to have a pipe that comes from here to the blower, which goes right there. And then from the blower, I want a pipe to go across and just down and into here. And I'm going to ignore the rest of the like what I'll call a bleed air system, for a better word. Now, in the parcel service yesterday came this thing here, and in there I think is the fuel tank plus a bunch of other stuff. So I'm going to open up and see what's in there. I'll take it up front there. Yeah, there's a shiny new fuel tank there. Now I don't know if that should go in before anything else here or not. I'll think about that, because I think I've got the brakes done, and I don't think I have to get underneath it for anything here. So I just get it up and out of the way, and that'll be that. I'll think about that, because I got most of the, like, there's quite a bit of rubber and pipes and stuff that go with it, so I'll see about that. I'll think about it overnight. Maybe I'll attack the back end first, and then I'll worry about the gas tank later. I'll put all these stuff in a box. I've got a box just right for it, right over there. Okay. Yeah, there, Wednesday today. That's pretty well it for the day. It's about 5 to 5, time to quit. And I'll come back at it tomorrow and see what I'm inspired to do tomorrow. Anyhow, I'm using a DJI Osmo 2 Pocket 2 camera, and I've dropped it about, I don't know how many times on the cement, and boy, it sure is durable because it's still taking pictures. Yeah, so here I am in the editing studio in my house, and I've got to the point where it's a good cutoff point for this week's video, or half of this week's video, because it got to be pretty long. So I'll cut it off here, and I'll get this one out tonight, and then maybe get you another one out tomorrow or the next day. So anyhow, this gets about halfway through fixing up all the brakes and putting in brake lines and stuff like that. So anyhow, enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, here it is. It's Monday now, and over the weekend, I was going to head to the beach this morning, but over the weekend, it's been just raining and miserable, and ice rain and snow and everything like that. Here, have a look. So then, there's my pal here, right? But it's all like I've got about an inch of ice on the everywhere here, with rain on top of it, and everything last night was covered with ice. It's starting to melt off now. But another lovely day in PEI, and it's grim out today. It's supposed to rain and, well, it'll be warm, but it's supposed to rain all day. Anyway, I was heading to the beach and it was raining on me and cold and windy, so I said, the hell with that. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I got that. He doesn't care. He just wants to get out here and run. But maybe this is take two, maybe not. We'll just see. He's in there somewhere, right? Oh, there he is. Hard to keep up with that thing. And then he's tough on the garden sometimes. Oh well. There we go.